the idea that they're going to come to you and say, hey, can I do more, is sometimes the blockage, right? But that's not actually true.
So many personal trainers are working really fucking hard every day to sign new clients, but very few are actually seizing the opportunities to upgrade their existing clients to increase their revenue. We just upgraded 9 clients in our program over the last 48 hours, leading to a significant increase in our revenue. And in this conversation, we're going to share some of the key insights on how we did that. Let's dive in.
Welcome, team. Hope you're good. Welcome to episode 72. How are you, my friend? Are you good?
I'm doing well, thank you. A little bit jaded, but nevertheless good.
Pasty legs on show today for the podcast.
Enough about my legs. Like you've covered yours, and it's like 26 degrees outside.
Because
you're pastier than mine.
I did say to Dave earlier, what time's your tennis match today?
Because I'm wearing long socks.
What time are you meeting Rafa? Well, you had your socks pulled up to your knees.
I'm not afraid of that, to be honest. Look at that.
You should be afraid of that. Scandalous.
I've got a healthy mindset. I don't care what people think of me. So
yeah, well, that's
it just feels good.
Very evident. Anyway, today we want to talk about something that we've done inside our program in a very short space of time, which has led to two things. An increase
if you're trying to impress me.
An increase in our revenue, but also an ability to help people in a bigger way.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. And we know that there's so many opportunities for personal trainers to be able to do the same in their business. Is something that we didn't really catch on to until quite late in our PT career.
Upgrading?
Yeah. Like being able to just get more out of the people that are in our world.
Yeah.
And the framework for this, the actual, like if you're going to give it a wanky title, it's internal marketing. I think, everybody's focused on what they're doing externally to bring new people in, which is super important, is the lifeblood of your business. But there's also so many easy wins from a business perspective and a way to help people that you're already connected to in a bigger way by actually looking internally. So why don't you kick us off with what we did, and then we can talk about how we would relate that to a PT.
Yeah. So let's say for this conversation, we've got 3 simple tiers of the people that work with us. We've got an introductory thing, which gets people started. So for a personal trainer, that might be classes that you teach, inductions to the gym, that kind of vibe. Then you've got your main program. We've got a mentorship program for trainers. Like a personal trainer would have your sessions. Like 1 session a week is probably the most typical thing that people do.
Yeah.
Maybe two sessions a week might be quite normal for some. And then we've got a top tier program, which is where for the more advanced progressive clients. And what we did is we had very recently, we had 11 people in the top tier, and we went to the people in the middle tier, of which at the time there was about 180, let's say. And we invited some to say, hey, do you want to step up to the top tier? And we created our capacity. We set at 20, and so we filled those spaces in 48 hours. So nine clients upgraded in the time span of 48 hours.
Nice. And like I said, the outcome of that for us from a business perspective is we make more money, which is great. But equally as important is that we're able to work closer with those people because they're paying us more. We can spend more time with them.
Yep.
And we can help them facilitate a much, much bigger result for their business, which means we can talk about those results more, which means that everything is in a better position and we can grow further.
Yeah.
So what we discussed before we did this podcast is like, why aren't people doing that? Like, what are the roadblocks towards you listening, if you're a PT, towards actually making this happen for ourselves? And there was kind of 3 things that we covered.
Yeah.
And the first one was around, and I'm looking at the computer here, the idea that people won't come to you. Client, if somebody wants to do more with you, if you're a coach, you've got a great client, they're getting results and they're doing well and they're moving forward. The idea that they're going to come to you and say, hey, can I do more? Is sometimes the blockage, right? Is that people are waiting for that to happen. But that's not actually true.
Yes. So I think it's most prevalent and noticeable when you think about external marketing, because trainers have to be really good at getting themselves out there on the gym floor or on social media via email to say, hey, I'm coming to you. Do you want some help with that? And we talk about this at length. And if you do that enough, you'll realize that there are a lot of people out there that say, yeah, I would like some help actually. But I think the pandemic, if you like, or the epidemic is that people don't prioritize themselves highly enough. They don't put enough impetus behind the change that they want to make in their own life because they're busy working hard, looking after the families, trying to grow, trying to do well at work or their business. And they're not prioritizing their own health so much. And we find the same thing with personal trainers. Like they're working really hard day to day, but if you go to them and say, I'd like to help you even more, would you like to step up to another level? People jump at the opportunity.
So it's very likely right now that in your client base, however big it is, if you've got 5, 10, 20, 100 clients, there will be people in there right now that aren't consciously thinking, oh, I really wish I could work with you more, but presented with the right offer in the right way, they would jump at the chance to get more time with you or to do a different type of thing with you because actually they want something more. They're really happy with what they've got right now, don't get me wrong, but the ability to go further, to do more, to get to be handheld a little bit more and to move towards the next rung of the ladder in their level of progression, they would love to do that. They're not going to come to you to say it.
It is mad how I led this little project over the last few days as this happened. And it's amazing how little resistance or let's say work I had to do outside of just presenting the offer for people to jump. It was, this is what we're doing up here. This is what you get. This is what we'll work on. This is how much it costs. Is that of interest to you right now? And of the 9, I'd say at least half of them said, yeah, that sounds really good. And I say, should we get you started then? And they said, yeah.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah. It's funny when you put it like that, right? I think the reality is as well that these people already with us, they already trust us. We don't have to build trust. We don't have to prove that we're good at what we do because they've already gone part way through the journey. Yeah. And that's the same with you. If you're getting your clients results, they already trust you. Your external market, the work that you need to do is to get them to trust you. Like it's to get them to know you, to like you, to trust you before they'll come into your main thing. But your current clients are already there. So to be able to extend your offer, to be able to offer them something more, it's actually like a lot easier because you've already proved to them that you're really fucking good at what you do. Yeah. So the second thing we discussed as a reason why people might not be doing this is around the mindset of asking for more money.
Asking for money. Don't talk about money.
Yeah, don't I know it?
No. Yeah, this goes deep, and we want to keep these podcasts pretty snappy. And maybe we'll do one on money, relationship with money. That might be a good conversation to have. But I think there is an underlying assumption for most people based on their upbringing, based on their background, that if I like money is a taboo subject. If I talk about it, I must be some kind of money grabbing idiot that I only care about money if I'm going to ask people for it. Whereas a healthy relationship with money is, I believe in myself and I value my own time and my experience and my knowledge and my results that I've got with my bare hands, so to speak. And I'm offering the opportunity to get some of that so that you can get something really valuable as well. I want to grow. I want to make more money, and I'm cool with that. But I also really want a result. And both of those two things, those two motivations can coexist. And so developing a really healthy relationship with money removes this idea that I can go to every one of my clients tomorrow, tonight, today, whenever you're listening to this, and say, hey, I've got 3 spots open for an upgrade if you want to increase the number of sessions you're doing at the gym, at the studio with me. And I'd love to also, as doing this, you'd also get X, Y, and Z. And I'd love for you to step up if it's something that you'd like to be interested in. Would that sound good? Like that you would be doing that on a regular basis. And we are doing that exactly now. Every 2 or 3 months, we'll go and ask every single person, and we'll say, are you ready for the next step up? And someone will say no, and we'll say, cool, no worries, maybe next time. And some will say, yes, please. And you'll sign them up, and all of a sudden your revenue makes a big jump. So a lot of it does stem back to our own relationship with money, and it's up to us to address that relationship on an individual basis.
And it kind of makes sense as well, because if you are going to give people an increased level of support, you want the incentive to do that. You don't want to do it and begrudge doing it and feel, look at that slot in your diary and go, oh God, yeah, I said I'd do some extra stuff for that person. There needs to be a rationale behind it. And
Yeah.
I think people get that. Like that's how the world works, right? It's not, money is not the priority number one, but we always say that money is the round of applause that you get for the great job that you're doing. And all you're saying is, I'm going to do a better job with you because I'm going to spend more time with you. And the result for that from a business perspective is more revenue.
And the other thing is, which I think is another blockage we've discussed, is just because you've asked them to upgrade, it doesn't mean permanently. Like you can say, let's upgrade you for 2 months. Let's do a sprint, and then you can drop back down.
Yeah.
And that impermanence, that lack of that lowering the fear of commitment, just makes the jump so much easier for people to make. And so we'll do this with some of the 9 people, and maybe some of the people that are already there. At some point, they might step back down to a lower level in our model, and that's cool if that works for them at that time. We want to be totally flexible with the journey that people go on with us. But that 3-month period or the 6-month period that people are with us much more closely might be the work, the attention and energy that's required to just get over that next hurdle or overcome, like move past that roadblock like you were discussing earlier, so that they can get what they want. And all of a sudden they're like, the results they're getting now are so good because they've got what they needed, that extra bit of help to overcome it. And now they're chatting from the rooftops of how amazing you are. And all of a sudden referrals start to flow. It's like, there's lots of great stuff that can happen as a result of even a short-term period of upgrade.
Yeah. And I think if you lower that resistance, if you remove some of the friction of let's do this and let's do this for the next year, it's a lot easier for people to say yes. And it's a bit like a taster again, right? They actually, because there's a lower barrier to entry to this increased service, they can come and experience it. Yeah. And if they love it, they're probably going to stay with you on that service for a very long time, for years. And if they don't love it, like you said, they can drop back down. I think the other thing is it opens up the idea of opportunities, like looking for opportunities. So we tell our clients and we teach our clients every 10 to 12 weeks to run a macro review with their clients, which basically is about looking back at where they were, looking at where they are now, and then projecting forward, the work that you're going to go on together. Now, in that conversation, if they say, well, I'm getting married in 3 months, perfect opportunity to say, well, why don't we go for this? Why don't we upgrade you? Or if the result of that conversation is that things have been stagnant, and the reason they've been stagnant is that they've done their work with you, but they're not really doing that much on their own. Perfect opportunity to lay down those habits by upgrading for a little bit. Yeah, perfect. So there's so many opportunities to have low friction, smaller time frame commitment, and a real rationale for why that would make sense for you to do it together. But the usual thing is that when they come in, they experience it, they taste it, they love it, and they just want to keep it going. So yeah, there's so many great things to come from that. And this is all around the framework of internal marketing. We all know, or should know, that external marketing is the lifeblood of your business. If you are not actively going out there, starting conversations with people, letting people know that you exist and how you can help them, and you're just sat around waiting for referrals, I'm pretty confident that your business isn't going to go that far. But if you are externally marketing, you're bringing in new blood. The point of today is to say the people that are already in your world, there are opportunities within that to take you so much further, to get better results, to increase your revenue, to build a better name for yourself. You're a mug if you're not thinking about doing it, basically. Yeah. Cool. All right, team. That's us from today. Final words from you, David. Any wisdom from the pasty-legged man over there?
No. Hopefully this has struck a chord and that it might cause you to take some action over the next few days. What have you got to lose?
Good shout.